Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers have more information about the seller and the business to help them make a buying decision. Before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of the business. It's for an Amazon FBA and e-commerce business created in October of 2016 in the pet care niche. The average monthly revenue for the business is $80,716 and makes an average of $27,033 per month in net profit. The assets included in the sale are a branded domain, including all site content and files, an Amazon Seller Central account of 115 SKUs, supplier relationships, social media accounts, which include Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and TikTok, trademark, an email list of about 20,000 subscribers, marketing materials, and as a disclaimer, inventory is not normally included in a list price, but further details can be provided to unlockers who schedule a call with the seller. And another disclaimer is this business includes an Etsy account as part of its list of assets. And although possible, Etsy forbids account transfers as part of their terms of service, but as a buyer, you would assume all responsibility for the account after the transfer process. So for everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 58337 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So that's a brief overview of the business for sale. Let's hear from the seller with me today. So welcome to the show, David. How are you doing today?
Great. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to learning more about you and your business. So to start us off, can you tell us a little about your background in building and running online businesses?
Sure. I've been doing this, running and building businesses online for close to 2 decades now. I started my first business back in 2004 and been in this space ever since. So I've built multiple brands, always in the consumer product space, mostly with DTC kind of stuff, and primarily with unique products that didn't have an existing market prior to entering. I'm not interested in creating products that are out there already and sort of just iterating on those, but rather kind of coming up with something new where I didn't have much competition. And that's what we have here today with this business I'm trying to sell.
That's awesome. Yeah, usually I'll hear, I think it's very common when getting into the Amazon space that you will do your product research based upon what's currently selling, but you're still able to get into the market. So it's almost refreshing to hear that you're taking a different approach where there isn't actually a pre-existing market and you're kind of creating that market. So very cool. So it's been since 2016, you've been building this business. So why are you deciding to sell the business now instead of keeping it and growing it?
Well, to be honest, a lot of that's personal. I've got a 2-year-old toddler at home. I also have a 3-week-old newborn at home.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So 2 sons, it's amazing. And it'd be even more amazing if I could spend some more time with them and take some time off. So that's a big reason. But more importantly, especially for a potential buyer, I think they would want to hear that at this point, this business has gotten to a size, as you can see, it's just under $1 million. We'll definitely surpass $1 million this year in revenue, maybe approach 1.5, hopefully. And at this point, it's just gotten to the point where I can't effectively run the business by myself. And so to be clear, I currently do everything by myself, everything from fulfillment, customer service, social media, marketing, product design, operations, logistics, PPC, SEO. You get the idea. I got to do everything. I'm taking out the trash and mopping the floors as well. And I've found, because I've been doing this, like I said, almost 20 years, that I can handle about 1.5 million in revenue, maybe 2 million. But once we get past that size, I can't do it by myself. And I would have to hire, a team. And then you got to manage employees and have payroll and your increased capital requirements. And, there's a lot of extra headaches that go along with that. And now what we've got with this company is we've reached an inflection point where I have to decide if I wanted to take the brand to that next level or just sell it. And obviously
Yeah.
from based on, I'm here today, I opted for the latter and then spend some time with the family instead.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes what I'll hear from sellers is maybe these are slightly newer comparatively sellers where they love the launching and building of the business, but then they get more into the operations of it and realize that they don't really want to be involved in that. You can tell this business, you're much further into this. You have a lot of experience in the operations, but you realize now getting to scale the business even further that it requires just even more operational capacity. So yeah, I definitely understand.
I got to throw it out there as well as just, part of that, because I want to mention, I did actually plan to hire a team and go, kind of take this business myself to, hopefully somewhere 3-5 million in the next couple of years. But, with COVID happening, it kind of threw a wrench in my plans with COVID and the toddler and the newborn and, pregnant wife at the time. I just didn't want to have employees here in my workspace.
Yes.
And remote work is a possibility, but I like to do things face to face more with my potential employees, I guess, because I didn't have any for this one, because I like to be a little bit more flexible, partly because I probably have less idea of what exactly I want to do. Sometimes this sort of it comes about through working through an issue or through a problem. And it's a lot harder to do that remotely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it seems like you certainly, even one-man team, you've been able to experience a lot of success with this business. So what did you learn from building this business that just seemed to work?
Well, let's say authenticity for this business has been very important. And we work a lot with micro influencers and affiliates, and we do a lot of social media work. And we have a great relationship with a lot of our customers. If you see any of our product listings, whether it's on Amazon or our website, you'll see just very large number of very positive reviews. And not just, the standard sort of great product, like exclamation point, 5 stars. They explain why they love the product, what they did. And we have an insane number, a percentage of our reviews have product customer images included with them. So these are, very high quality sort of, they're not easily faked or anything like that. It inspires a lot of trust with the potential customer as well. Authenticity when we're interacting with our customers, when we're working with our influencers, that's been very important. And I should mention that, when we're doing our influencer marketing, we have a policy. By the way, I say we a lot. It's me. That's I. But you know how it is. When you talk about your company, you say we.
For sure.
But our policy is we don't pay for posts ever. We've never paid for a post in the 6+ years, or I guess 5+ years we've been doing this. Yet we have thousands and thousands of user-generated content. We've had collaborations with influencer accounts with more than 1 million followers, and we've never paid for any of that. We just hope that they like our product. We interact with them, we connect in that way. And yes, we'll send some free product. But as far as when it comes to, posting and paying for that kind of stuff, we just don't do it. So I think authenticity is very important to that. And just kind of on a more simple sort of something that's really worked, I've learned is video. Video's been killing it. Video ads and things. And it's one of those things that it's killing as a one-man kind of show. I don't have the bandwidth. And I have some video experience, but not nearly enough to do like the kind of quality that I would like, or just the time to just create the content. But, puppy videos, everyone loves puppy videos. So our product is related, dealing with cute dogs and stuff. Video just kills it. And we really need to do a lot more, but that definitely works.
Got it. Very cool. We can get into opportunities a little bit later, but a lot of the things that you tried definitely worked. So was there anything you tried with this business that didn't work out so well?
Yeah, this past holiday season, since the Facebook iOS update, I'm sure anyone listening to this is probably aware, they changed their permissions and what Facebook is allowed to do. Apple did. Facebook ads have gotten less effective to a point where, they're still profitable, the ads that we're running, but not nearly to the degree that they used to be. Part of that might be I never really took the time to retool the way we're approaching our PPC in the face of this update. So that definitely needs to be done. Hopefully we can get it to a point where it's more effective or as effective as it used to be running ads on Facebook, because they were incredibly effective before. But, this past holiday where we typically run a big ad campaign, results weren't quite where we wanted it. Another thing, Google PPC, that platform has never been that good for us. Facebook has always been much better. I forget, still the majority of our business is Amazon, and Amazon ads are still strong, and that's always like very good. But, I'm kind of talking about things that have a little bit more nuance to them when we're talking like PPC creatives and stuff. But yeah, Amazon's fine.
Yeah, some sellers will say that they tried to advertise externally just off of the Amazon platform and they weren't successful. So to hear that you were or are successful, but it become less profitable, certainly sounds like there's some opportunity there for sure.
And I should mention, because this wasn't, it's in the listing, but we sell on Amazon. We also have our own website. We also do sell some on Etsy, and we have wholesale. So there are multiple facets. It's not just an Amazon business. So if I'm talking about Facebook ads or Google ads, I'm not actually advertising for an Amazon listing. I'm advertising for our website. All our Amazon listings, I just do the ads within the Amazon network, which are incredibly effective anyway. Yeah.
Got it. So we've talked about several different traffic sources. So let's get into that a little bit more. How is traffic generated through this business?
I can speak to the website, right? Not to the Amazon listings. The Amazon listings, I imagine, I don't actually look at the analytics for the Amazon listings too much. I'll run the ad campaigns, but yeah, that I feel like there's not that much we can do.
It's probably PPC and organic.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But when we're talking the website, we get, I think, like 35 to 45% of our traffic is either direct and also from social media and referrals and influencers. Direct people will type in the URL, but they'll see it like on a social post, but then they won't click the link, they'll type it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So sometimes it's hard to gauge that. We get about 25% of our traffic from legit PPC. And then we get another 15% from like organic search, Google search.
Yeah, that sounds like it's pretty well spread given that majority comes from Amazon, but for the 30% or so that's not on Amazon, yeah, it sounds like a pretty diverse spread. Okay, well, you definitely mentioned a few opportunities as you were answering some of these other questions like video, retooling some of the Facebook advertising campaigns. Let's get into the opportunities. If you were to keep the business, what are some ways you would try to grow it?
Well, I think the number one way is just increasing and expanding the product offering. We're in a very niche product right now, which we more or less created the category. Not exactly. I don't want to get too far into it without revealing too much, but it's a very niche product, yet we do great in it. We can expand to a lot of other pet-related products and accessories, a lot of clothing and apparel type wear, toys, things like that. A lot of it makes sense. And not only that, it's not just a matter of expanding, but we can leverage our current product in a way that we can bundle other pet-related products together with them that I think would work really well. It makes a lot of sense. So that's one way. Another opportunity is just expanding our distribution channels. Yes, we're on Amazon and we have our website. We're also on Etsy and do some wholesale, but we're on Walmart, but our listings are really messy right now. I just kind of threw them up there. They're not optimized, and we don't use their fulfillment network, the WFN, which is Walmart's version of FBA. So I think, if we really kind of optimized Walmart and use the fulfillment, that could be a great channel. And Chewy.com is the biggest online pet retailer. We're not on there currently, but we are in talks with them, with one of their buyers, and we're looking to get on that platform in 2022. So that could be a great opportunity.
Yeah, awesome. So of course, with opportunities comes some form of risk. So what do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
Well, right now we're close to, I think it's like maybe 67% of our revenue comes from Amazon, a little less of the net income because Amazon is less profitable, obviously, with the fees and whatnot. When we have that big of a percentage of our income coming from one place, it's always a risk, especially when Amazon could potentially make changes. We've seen that in the past 2-3 years with all their changes to inventory storage limits. That has definitely hurt us, and made things a lot more cumbersome to deal with. Fortunately, we have our own warehouse, which helps. But I didn't mention this, but we're a very seasonal business. I should mention this. We can be a very seasonal business where we do about 70% of our sales in the winter, or I should even say October through December, or maybe it's 65%. When that happens, Amazon's inventory storage limits become a problem. Essentially, we can't send as much stuff into their warehouses when we want. And if we run out, we have to self-fulfill, which isn't the worst. We do a lot of self-fulfillment, but the problem is when something isn't listed as Amazon Prime on Amazon, they're going to say, even though like we'll send something out and it might take 2 days to get to a buyer, but on Amazon's website, if it's FBM, it's going to show 7 to 10 days or something like that. Amazon can be a problem. Like I said, the inventory storage limits, who knows? Maybe they see your listing and take it down for whatever, and you try to talk to customer support and you get nowhere. And it takes like 3 or 4 days, 5 or 6 days to get it back up. And if that happens during a critical time of the year, where we might, again, where we're doing 70%, 65% of our sales in a 3-month period, those 5-6 days could be pretty harmful if one of your main like top listings goes down. So a little bit more on the seasonality of things. Obviously, that can be a risk. I've always actually been working in more seasonal items. Almost every product typically sells a little bit better around the holidays, but I've always kind of been in a like 65 to 75% of overall sales happen in those 3 months at the end of the year. This is no different. I actually like working with it because I feel that the seasonality is a bit of a barrier to entry for a lot of competitors, especially like Chinese competitors that might like see a popular product that's selling really well during the winter and want to jump in. It's not so easy, when it's a highly seasonal product for them,
Right.
Especially going up against a more established brand with hundreds of 5-star reviews and product like photos, all that kind of stuff. So it is a risk, but, there are some benefits to it as well. Another risk, our production lead time is fairly long. This isn't a product, because this is a unique product. It's not something that's sort of being made by any number of suppliers that, oh, you ran out, but someone else is carrying some that you can just grab and restock. No, this is something that you need to plan ahead for your year. Like I've already placed my 2022 order for this winter. So that's been placed and it's in production right now. We might be able to wait in pre-COVID days. We might have waited until March or something. But with supply chain issues and long shipping times and all that, I already put my order in now because our season really kicks up around October. So that means we want to have it in hand by August. Then we can get it into Amazon by September and fully stocked and ready to go. You know what I mean? So There is a production lead time. You have to carry a lot of extra inventory, I guess. Like I carry more than I expect to sell for the entire year because if I do better than I thought, the last thing I want is to not have the inventory. So there is a fairly high inventory investment that you need to keep on hand.
Yeah, I mean, you do mention a few of these risks, seasonality and having to order a lot of inventory up front. Yeah, they certainly are risks in a sense, but yeah, I can also see how they could be advantages to those, especially those who are experiencing issues with maintaining stock. But just part of that is that constant operation of continuously having to reorder and constantly balance, just make sure that there's enough inventory. So yeah, it could be kind of perceived as a benefit to make that one order for the entire year up front so that you really are just managing the logistics of that just that one time. So I think it'll depend on, I guess, what kind of the buyer preference on that, but I could see that being potentially seen as a benefit.
And I will say that, our products is not like a seasonality thing where if you don't sell it this season, they're worthless. At least our experience has been over, the course of the life of this business, the styles they carry over. So if we didn't sell it in 2021, we'll sell it in 2022. It's fine, so we don't worry too much about carrying too much inventory.
Cool. Well, finish up with some housekeeping questions here. So next question is, how much support are you willing to offer a new buyer?
I think on the listing, I said 60 days. I'm open to it. I'm open to anything by negotiation, but I'm ready to help the process along as much as I can. Like I mentioned earlier, we, have our own warehouse. So everything is here. If support's necessary to kind of keep the business running for, the first month and shipping out and fulfilling orders and dealing with that kind of stuff as we're transitioning, that's fine. I plan on coming to the office anyway. I've got another brand that I run out of this warehouse that I'll be here anyway. 60 days seems fine. I hope you don't need more, but maybe you do. But, I could be literally on site, managing the process, managing everything that needs to be done until everything is turned over.
Great.
And by the way, and remember, I do everything. So if it's like, oh, I need to get this ad copy, and can I get some source files for PSDs for this, ad or this marketing image, I can do all of that stuff because I have it.
Very nice. All right. So next question then is, would you commit to a non-compete?
Sure. Yeah. Don't have any plans to get into this space again, and I'm happily commit to a non-compete.
Perfect. And are you open to something like an earnout?
Yeah, I'm open to it. Obviously I'd prefer an all cash payout. Who doesn't? But, I understand that earnouts are typical for these types of deals. And, we could talk about that and figure out what those terms might be, and we'll work something out. It certainly could be on the table.
Okay, excellent. And last two questions. Putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
Honestly, this business is great. I love this business. Like I mentioned before, I think, it's kind of poised to get to that next level. And it's just a matter of, do you have the infrastructure in place to take it there, or do you want to? Right. And I personally, I don't want to deal at this stage. I've got the kids. I got a 3-week-old. I don't want to start hiring people and building the team and doing all that kind of stuff again. I'm kind of ready to take a little break. But if you do, and if you can do that, I've set everything. I don't want to brag, but I've set everything up. Everything is ready to go. Like if you heard throughout this call, like, oh yeah, we do this, but it's not so good. Our affiliate marketing, we're doing it, but it could be so much better. There are so many things like that we're doing, or we're kind of have a toe in, but they could be so much better. It's just a matter of bandwidth for me, and I can't do it all. And I don't want to hire people to do it all at this point. I'm just ready to let someone else take over the reins and benefit. So honestly, whoever gets this business, they're going to get, it's a good deal, I think. I think it'll be good for them.
Well, awesome. This has been a ton of very valuable information. Is there anything you'd like to add that you think I might have missed during the interview?
I think we covered pretty much everything. Obviously, I'd love to talk a little bit more specifics about the product and the brand, because so much of what's important and kind of the proposition behind this business is the brand and the product and those kinds of things. But, anyone who does, hopefully their interest has been piqued by this interview, and they'll, unlock, right?
Yep.
And then we'll discuss a little bit further. We'll get on a call and I'll talk to you person or over Zoom, and we'll share all the details that you need.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, well, yes, for the purpose of this interview, I think this is the perfect spot to wrap this up. So, David, thank you so much for sharing your story and joining us on today's episode. And I hope your business is purchased in the near future and by the right buyer.
All right. Thanks a lot, Nick. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 58337. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.